Τσεκ, τσεκ, 1-2, τσεκ, τσεκ. Τσεκ, τσεκ, 1-2, τσεκ, τσεκ. Οπ, σκάσε. Εντάξει, είμαι θα οκ. Δεν έχει intro σήμερα, δεν έχουμε χρόνο. Δυστυχώς. Anyway, σας στάρω μια στα γρήγορα. Για να δούμε τι μου λείπει. Μου λείπει το restream. Εδώ. Nice, πάμε λίγο, μου βγάζει άλλο τίτλο στο YouTube, μου βγάζει τον παλιό τίτλο. Τι μου έχει βγάλει, στον κόλλο ρε. Όχι, κάτσε, ξέρω πως. Εδώ, live. Έχει κολλήσει με το DS2 το YouTube, Nice. Ορίστε, τώρα έστρωσε. Ωραία. Για να δω. Οκ, εντάξει είμαστε. Μπορώ να αρχίσω. Δεν το έχω πιάσει στο Stanley πάρα πολλά από ένα βίντεο που έκανα. Δεν ξέρω που το έχω αφήσει. Ωραία, για να δούμε. Εδώ, begin.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Πάμε ρε narrator.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did.
Nice, super robot. Άλλη ακριβία. Να δω κάτι. Επιτρέπεται να κάνω alt tab. Αρχίδια, δεν μπορώ να κάνω alt tab. Γαμηθήκαμε. Οκ, YouTube chat, την πατήσατε.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Ωραία. Λέει. Alright. Και πάμε και.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley
Αν απλά πηδήξω από το παράθυρο.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Σκατά, δεν μπορώ.
How hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Απαγορεύεται να έχω jump. Παναγία μου. Αυτό το θυμάμαι. Θα το δούμε αργότερα, μην μπούμε από τώρα στο content. Οπ, Μάικα, καλησπέρα ρε. Πώς είσαι? Κάτσε βάλει το YouTube chat για να μην κάνω alt tab συνέχεια. Ορίστε. Ωραία, τι είπε, στα αρχίδια μου, πάμε εδώ.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Καλά, δεν δουλεύω καθημερινές. Εγώ είμαι οκ. Τα κλασικά.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Ηρεμία, τάξη και ασφάλεια.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Σχολείο, υπολογιστής, ύπνος. Αλήθεια.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult.
Αν την παλεύω μόνος, ναι μωρέ.
Is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley.
Έλα, σκάσε ένα ρέτορ.
Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Τι και αν. Τι και αν έχω χρωματοψία. Τι και αν.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
Τι και αν όμως.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Ναι, αλλά...
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures.
Ναι.
What you had wanted.
Κάτσε τον χαμηλώσω λίγο. Του χρόνου θα περάσει καλά.
Worth ruining the entire story I had written.
Του χρόνου έχει υγεία.
For you. Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new
μάγια για Πειραιά, θα πας κι εσύ.
There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Θέλω να δω θα γίνει άμα πάω από εδώ τώρα. Οκ.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Oh, of course. A 3. Really. Maybe next time we can get you to form an actual opinion, you know? Any level of critical thinking or engagement with your surroundings. Does that sound good?
Πειραιάς μονόδρομος. Έτσι,
Wonderful. Here, based on the data from your previous...
Βασικά κι εγώ, η Αθήνα ήταν ή δεν έχει...
Let's take a look.
Τι είναι, αυτό είναι actual leaderboard. Μπα, όχι, δεν είναι.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors?
Σκάσε ρε.
Honest answers, please.
Σκάσε ρε βλάκα.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game,
Oh.
the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail.
Nice.
It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the
Έλα.
game only becomes clear
Κάψτε το.
once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of
Κάψτε το
play
στην
to make
πυρά.
sure it's effective. Be sure to keep notes on your experience. You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might...
Έχει drop και φρίζα, ξέρεις.
I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm out. I'm done. It's over.
Πω μαλάκα, πρέπει κάτι να κάνω όταν έχω δύο chat.
Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game just to ease the pain? Let's see.
Χρειάζομαι δεύτερη οθόνη, δεν γίνεται αυτό το πράγμα.
Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Oh.
Fascinating. What do you think this game is about?
Δύο οθόνες πάρα άλλη μία.
What's our backstory?
Θα πάρω δύο. Τρεις.
It seems obvious to me that
Τέσσερις.
you're meant to play as a creepy man,
Έξι.
spying on innocent civilians below you.
Ένα six pack.
High in your creep tower. Perhaps
Από
for some
οθόνες.
sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far,
Βασικά σου τσιμπήσω καμιά παλιά από τον πατέρα μου.
and it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else.
Κυρίως περιμένω κάποιο άλλο να πάρει μια τηλεόραση και να πάρω εγώ μια παλιά. Nice. Μισό κουμπί διαπράττω αυτοχειρία από τον πύργο.
Oh no. No, it can't be.
Γιατί μου πέφτει τόσο βαρύ.
It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off.
Nice. Εκεί στην MS Systems είναι για το πώς περιμένω εδώ και... Α, καλά.
We wandered off into that
Θα παίξω Minecraft.
that big open, just wandering around, no right or wrong directions, no path to follow.
Πλέον για μένα το Minecraft είναι απλά... Hypixel Skyblock.
Thank heavens we avoided it.
Δεν υπάρχει για μένα κάτι άλλο στο Minecraft.
Stanley. Okay,
Αναγκαστικά έχω 2.500 ώρες.
let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable...
Τι έπαθα όλος τώρα σπάστηκε που είναι open world.
Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
Α, έχω dropped frames. Έχω. Κάτσε το φτιάξω. Bedrocks, μαλάκα, Bedrocks, oh.
See, this is exactly what
Rocket League.
just a nice big box for you to run around in. Any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but
Καλά είναι.
a racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here.
Είναι ένα προς ένα τα assets.
Sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports.
Μοιάζει σαν τα έχουν κάνει απευθείας copy-paste, ξέρω εγώ, από το original.
The bases and do a touchdown together? Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Ωπα ρε. Ωραία, τις πριν το έχω βαρέσει.
You're doing it. Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my
Πάμε!
little story that I worked so hard? Hold on.
Τι έγινε? Έπεσε τα τάρταρα. Παίξε φόρν, Χριστέ μου. Stop.
Don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Έχει σκουρ το game 10 στα 10. Τι είναι τώρα που πάω? Κάτσε βάλε το chat πάλι. Τι γίνεται ρε? Μου έχει λείψει το είπε καλά ο Master Peos, άστο. Τέλειωσε αυτό το character arc. Apex το ανοίγω καμιά φορά. Με το Wolfie. Παίζω Μαρίνας, πλάκα έχει. Α, το ξέρω αυτό ρε εσύ. Αυτό είναι το original Stanley Parable. Το 2011 πότε ήταν. Τότε που ήταν mod για το Half-Life. Nice. Τώρα τι κάνω ακριβώς?
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted
Τι έγινε, το σηκώσεις επεξεργαστήκε. Δεν ξέρω τα requirements. Εγώ το παίζω
right now. I wonder if he's had a choice.
στο Ryzen 5 που έχω ακόμα.
Heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon.
Με τα Vega 11 τα γραφικά το τρέχει ψηλό ok.
Someone who will wrap everything up at the end to make sense out of the chaos.
Εντάξει, όλα στα low εννοείται, αλλά δεν βαριέσαι.
That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Nice. Δεν έδινε σημασία στο game, δεν ξέρω στο διάλογο έγινε.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Δεν πάω ακόμα εδώ. Να το δούμε αργότερα.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes. This room. What a beauty. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first
Που εντωμεταξύ,
left.
τώρα
And
θυμήθηκα.
so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Είναι... Τώρα θυμήθηκα το super... Πώς το λένε, Ultra Deluxe αυτού του παιχνιδιού.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to
Είναι σε άλλο engine εντελώς.
wander about and get even further off track.
Και φαίνεται ακριβώς το ίδιο με το original.
Need to go,
Πού είμαι?
from here it's
Στο διάσαπα στο original είναι, στο source.
Oh no, it's to the right. My mistake. No.
Nice.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Καναλά FNAF. Θα προτιμούσα να μην.
No,
εδώ είμαι ρε.
No, this isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Alright, και πάμε και...
Co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley... Wait, what?
Ωχ, τι είναι.
No, I restarted.
Nice.
I definitely restarted the game over.
Πάω για ύπνο, Γιώργο, δηλαδή θα μιλήσουμε. Καλό βράδυ. Καλό βράδυ. Καλή ξεκούραση.
Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Για να δω, έχω dropped frames τώρα. Όχι, νομίζω είμαι ok. Κάτσε να αλλάξω πάλι το chat. Ωραία. Για να δούμε τι έχουμε. Μακάρι ένα sprint button αυτή τη στιγμή. Say fucking what? Εδώ.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again?
Renarrator.
Unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again.
Μας έχει πρίξει τα αρχίδια.
Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Γιατί ρε, τι έχει ο λαβύρινθος, μια χαρά είναι. Τα backrooms.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Μαλάκα του μεταξύ. Πολύ εύκολα μπορείς απλά να χάσεις κάτι. Αν πάρεις κάποια άλλη. Π.χ. άμα πας στο new content.
It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Αυτό άλλαξε πάλι πίσω. Ρε μαλάκες. Ποιος το σφουγγάρεις, όχ. Nice. Άλλο. Άλλο.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story.
Και είναι λούπα. Yep.
No, wait. Never mind.
Α,
Not the story.
όχι.
Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Και τώρα είναι λούπα. Α, τώρα απλά βγάζει όπου να είναι.
Now this, well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this.
Ρε στον κόλλο.
Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations!
Nice.
I know you
Εύκολο.
put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off. So,
Δύσκολο έχει.
oh no, no, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time, I have to restart. All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Νέο. Ο νέος δρόμος.
See? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny.
Κάμα, γιατί το βλέπω τσόπι το stream στο preview.
Nope.
Sorry, εδώ. Δεν έχω drop frames στον κόλλο.
Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, Are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably
Nice.
carried into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Nice. Είσαι ωραίος. Τώρα έχουμε τη μουσική.
Wait, cut the music. Go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story.
Δεν μας σχέζεις.
Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to... Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell? Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Καλά περνάμε. Εγώ απλά
Stanley, I say forget the adventure line. What's it?
πρέπει να υποστώ τις μαλακίες σου.
Intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious.
Ουχ.
This all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction? Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story?
Να και τώρα έχει λούπα, ναι.
Use your imagination.
Όχι.
Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Περιμένω πολύ μια λούπα.
Oh no, not you again. Stanley.
Το trademark.
I'd like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine. Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Nice.
Hold up, what's this? The
confusion ending.
Telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a...
Άρα σύμφωνα με αυτό,
Is it really...
απλά θα παίξω και θα κάνει restart μόνο του.
I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait, you know. I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
Να σε γάμισω. Τι έγινε?
All of his co-workers...
Οκ, θεωρητικά τώρα μπορώ να ακολουθήσω το schedule. Κάτσε το δοκιμάσουμε.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his
Δεν μοιάζει να...
staircase. Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again...
Μπα. Κάνουμε manual restart.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Το μεταξύ μικρό στριμάκι αυτό, δεν έχω πολύ χρόνο για stream. Γιατί κοπανάω για διακοπές. Για να δω τι έχει κάτω στη σκάλα, πλάκα.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley.
Αλόκο στη λούπα.
He thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said. This is all too strange.
Δεν μπορώ με αυτά, reveals.
And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming! He yelled. This is all a dream.
Όχι, stop.
Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose
Το φάγαμε όλο το lore με την κουτάλα. Όλο το reveal.
I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical star field, and it too appeared. It was so
Say fucking what?
And Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought.
Ο Χριστός φτάνει. Φτάνει.
And wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams. The truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just...
Ο Χριστός.
He would prove it. He would prove
Ο Χριστός.
that he was in control. That this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me
Εγώ συνεχίζω να παίρνω πόρτες.
to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Nice που κουτούλησα.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Άλλο fever dream.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Ή πια.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief
Πάμε ραφτοχειρία μπρος.
the strange man. He was obviously
Πήγαμε σπίτι.
This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career.
Και όλο αυτό γιατί κατέβηκα μια σκάλα.
The rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Nice. Θα πάρω κανένα 2 endings ακόμα.
Gone. What could it mean?
Και μετά θα πάω στο new content.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Πάμε εδώ πάλι.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted
Ναι,
to
ναι, θα σε κόψω τώρα μερικές φορές.
first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really. I'm
Ω, κάτι έχει εκεί.
I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact
Πώς πας εκεί πέρα?
the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me,
Εδώ πάμε!
but in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are... I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing.
Πάμε άλλη μία.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first time understood true happiness. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
κλείνω και την πόρτα.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley.
Sorry λίγο. Γάμο το ξταύρου μου. Δροπάρω frames.
You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly... Oh, no,
Τι και αν.
you can't... Did you just unplug the phone?
Ίσως.
That wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white.
And then they had sex. The end.
Picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
Ναι, ο Stanley δεν είναι real person.
This is why you've been able to make correct and
Δεν κατάλαβα.
and to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you've made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice.
Nice. Οκ, λοιπόν. Όσο παίζει αυτό το πολύ ενδιαφέρον σεμινάριο, πάω εγώ να φτιάξω φαγητό. Είμαι σίγουρος είναι πολύ ενδιαφέρον, δεν θέλω να το χάσω, αλλά εντάξει τώρα.
It's the best part of being a real person, but if used incorrectly can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice. He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought Then provide an excuse why you
Fucking do
cannot
some
continue talking.
push-ups.
Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack." Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at
Damn,
least
I
8
ripped
choices
ass.
per day. Do you make more than 8?
Not some push-ups.
And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Can't do no more.
Ah, welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. Properly informed on good decision-making,
Too
we're
fucking
going to
fat,
revisit
you
the
gotta
choices
see the
made
workout.
minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do is. This way, please.
Hard dress and a fart on. Damn. Fucking king ass ripper right here. Everything gross. Fucking. Start sending me some gassy ass beans so I can make these farts even bigger. I challenge you, you think you can fart bigger than me.
Καλησπέρα. Επέστρεψα. Λοιπόν, εντάξει, πρόλαβε το σεμινάριο να τελειώσει, αλλά εγώ έφτιαχνα τους πάει. Λαϊκό κομμάτι. Ναι. Φυσικά. Ωραία, τι έγινε τώρα?
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the
Nice.
character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story
Γιατί?
would make no sense at all. We just
Αυτό το story θα ήταν το καλό ending. Το αυτοχειρία ending.
any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Γιατί δεν κάνεις κανένα collab με Unnamed? Αυτά τα κάνουμε σε άλλα streams. Όταν παίζουμε Fall Guys.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending. The story will have
Stanley, γαμώ το ξεσταύρι σου.
resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the...
Καλά, εντάξει, Ντίμο, δεν κοιτάω τα views, ρε εσύ. Άραξε. Αλλά έχω μπει σε stream με τον Unnamed.
Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Λοιπόν, μιας και τώρα έκανα φαΐ. Τι μου είπε, δεν άκουσα. Πάμε από εδώ.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
Τώρα που έκανα φαΐ θα παίρνω και μια μπουκιά. Εντάξει, δεν έκανα κάτι. Πήρα λίγο ψωμί και βάλα τα χίνα από πάνω. Speedrun.
It's ruined. I can't believe after everything we talked about.
Άλλο corruption.
My story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that?
What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now.
Καργαμά
What am I
μου.
supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my
Κάργα φοιτητής moment.
How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility.
Κάργα νηστεία.
Couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut
ναι.
the game down entirely?
Αυτό είχα στο νου μου.
All of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game.
Άλλος κλαίγεται, εγώ τρώω ταχίνι.
I have to.
Πάω κάνα γιαουρτάκι. Μια χαρά. Άλλο τέτοιο. Πώς το λένε. Σύναξη για τέτοιο, για δείπνο.
What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard to make... behave exactly as Stanley.
Τι είναι?
That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task.
Sorry, έτρωγα, δεν κατάλαβα το μυρολόι σου.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would.
Οκ. Αυτό το θυμάμαι όταν το έπαιζα παλιά, νομίζω απλά θα κάνει αυτό συνέχεια, οπότε πάμε από αριστερά.
Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an... Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ναι, και μετά. Νέο.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Το νέο room.
Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up.
Πότε βρίσκει τη θηλιά ο Stanley?
From within himself, the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp...
Φαντάζομαι θα... Κοίτα, αργά ή γρήγορα θα βρούμε όλα τα αυτοσυρία paths. Οπότε φαντάζομαι θα βρούμε και τη θηλιά.
The code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
Τώρα απλά δεν πρέπει να κάνω τίποτα. Καλά, ας τσιμπήσω λίγο.
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
Ακούς voice over μη αλφα μη όγκας.
Only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You... When Stanley came to a set of two open doors,
Κώδικας
the door on his
σκαπύρνει. Σκαπύρνει. Το πιο σοσκαδό που έχω ακούσει.
Is everything okay? Stanley, please.
Μαμούγκας.
I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right?
Α, είναι το τέτοιο αυτό, το Black Pill ending. Που τρώει Black Pill. Που τρώω κεφαλικό εγώ. Αυτό είναι το ending. Τρώω εγώ κεφαλικό. Και απλά και τελειώνει αυτό. Created with Unity. Αν είναι σε Unity είναι αυτό εδώ πέρα. Το καλό το τέλος. Μαλάκα, το έχουν κάνει πολύ καλά. Το έχουν κάνει ολόιδιο, παρόλο που είναι σε διαφορετικό engine αυτό το version. Πέθανε έμφραγμα. Εγώ ή ο narrator. Καλό για Unity, ναι. Καλό είναι. Το είχα δει σε ένα βίντεο. Το μεταφέραν από source σε Unity γιατί το source δεν είναι τόσο εύκολο το πορτάρεις, κάτι τέτοιο θυμάμαι. Ας πάμε στο content. Νομίζω ήρθε η ώρα.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Πάμε για το content. Άλλο content. Πάμε να δούμε το Ultra Deluxe. Εδώ είναι ο κύριος καθηγητής, ο El Profesor. Βρίσκεται στο Stanley Parable αυτός. Πω καλά εντωμεταξύ ρε, παρόλο που είχα το original game, φυσικά και θα έπρεπε να σκάσω. Δεν θυμάμαι πόσα. Δεν θυμάμαι πόσα λεφτά ήτανε για εξαγοράσω το Ultra Deluxe. Φυσικά και το πήραμε χωρίς.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Πάνω από 10. Δεν ξέρω. Σε το βασικά πώς κάνει τώρα. Μια στα γρήγορα. Βασικά στο πέρα ανοίξω το Epic Games και είναι άλλο spyware το Epic Games Launcher.
Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Έλα. Τι έγινε ρε.
Is it broken?
Χάλασε το elevator.
What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or...
Ωραίο αυτό, πρέπει το. Όποτε κάνω alt-tab για να βάζω μουσική, τώρα κάνω πώς για το game. Πάσχω από παρανοϊκή σχιζοφρένεια για 24 ώρες. Άλλο content.
impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe mostly tedious. It's as if them... Oh, okay. Let's see the content.
Οκ, σκάσε elevator music.
Give me the
Έρχεται το content.
Stanley.
Άλλο.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Εντάξει. Χιν. Πάμε ρε το new content. Πάμε γάμο το σπίτι μου. Άλλο Elendere Lord content.
There has to be something else, right? Goodness.
Α, εγώ εάν.
Stanley, I
Εγώ
have to
όταν.
say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new
Εγώ όταν elevator content.
content? And I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And if... Oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else.
Nice, καλό timing έχει η μουσική.
I'm ready for whatever it is.
Καλά.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be
Άλλο.
kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what
Το
happens.
πήγαν, το κάναν το cash grab του C developers.
No respect for their families.
Εγώ ήταν κλειστοφοβία.
Expansion to market for no
Ανελκυστές περιεχόμενο bottom text.
Don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements.
Ναι,
It's
αλλά
hard to believe
το
what
game
it
σου
says. Test
έχει σκουρ button.
Ignore. What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally.
Ω κατά. Narrator δεν σε είχα για τέτοιο.
I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations.
Certified to Twitter στιγμή.
Still with me. Why don't we just reset the game and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Τι έχουμε εδώ.
Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
Τι κι αν όχι.
Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine. You're a dork anyway, so who cares?
Τώρα. Τώρα με προσβάλλεις. Όχι και dork. Τώρα με κατέστρεψες. Καλά.
Never mind. You're not a dog.
Εντάξει. Θα πάω, ηρέμησε. Μήπως κάνει follow το BTS. Ενδεχομένως.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new
Τι είπε για τον πατέρα σου.
turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking
Τι είπε αυτός
and how much better
για την αντιπαναγία.
to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the memory zone. It's where I've
Nice.
been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences
Φέρνει...
the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Καλώς όχι εντελώς. Φέρνει πολύ λίγο σε The Witness.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the memory zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap
Το λάκι.
Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched?
Τον αναγκάρα.
Back then, video games had
Το ποιο.
Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Τι έχουμε εδώ. Nice. Άλλο Windows 7. Άλλη εποχή. Go outside. Touch some grass. Ναι. Εντάξει. Εγώ όταν στιγμή. Ναι. Αξίζει. Αξίζει η κάθε αυτοχειρά να είναι portrait. Κρεμασμένη στον τοίχο μου.
And over here is where I keep reviews of
Εγώ.
like this stunning triumph of games
Ο αφηγητής είναι νοσταλγός Πασόκ.
from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and
Ναι, αλλά
encompassing the original Stanley
οι αποσχόληση τι έχουν να πούν για αυτό το game.
Literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing.
Κάτσε να δούμε.
It's no games at all.
Οι Unboxholics λένε
It's just a husk.
έπος στα 10.
Husk with an hour of new
Άλλο έπος.
content.
Nice.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in
GameStop, το game είναι τέτοιο, συσυφιανό gameplay. 8 στα 10.
9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone. To spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
Εδώ δεν.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the
Nice.
online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even
Καλά, δεν
imagine
περίμενε.
collecting data.
Δεν περίμενε και κάτι άλλο.
Surely these reviews
Θέλω να πω, η Steam θα ήταν η Metacritic.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to...
Καλά, εντάξει. Έχει υπάρξει μία γαμμένη φορά στη ζωή ενός ανθρώπου που όντως έχει βγάλει άκρη. Ή μάλλον όντως του έκανε έστω και λίγο πιο εύκολη την απόφασή του να αγοράσει ένα game από τα reviews του Steam. Απλά πας YouTube και τρως spoiler όλο το game, απλό. Αφού είναι όλοι τόσο σωστοί και επαγγελματίες reviewers στο stream. Ναι ρε εσύ. Ορίστε εδώ. Ο Noodle Staff πως το διάλογο. Άλλος επαγγελματίας.
This is actually quite shocking for me. To be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as... What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything.
Εγώ
so
θα
that
τρώω
you
ταχίνι.
can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Nice. Καθόλου υπερβολικό δωμάτιο για ένα skip button. Τι είναι τώρα? Άλλο.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No, 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 no. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness.
Και τώρα ακολουθεί lore.
Don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and
Το lore.
Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything will
Κοίτα, θα καθόμουν να ακούω το lore. Αλλά
We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet. No.
μου τελείωσε το ταχίνι.
240. Oh, you're back, you see.
Και jokes aside, αυτό είναι ψηλό flash stream. Δεν έχω πολύ χρόνο σήμερα.
Monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less.
Να δω κάτι μια. Sorry λίγο. Nice. Όλοι οι άλλοι από το... Είχαμε πριν Fall Guys stream. Όλοι οι άλλοι τώρα έχουν κάνει σύναξη στο community server. Δεν έχουν ιδέα ότι κάνω live. Εν τω μεταξύ πλέον επίτηδες δεν στέλνω notification. Θέλω να δω πόσο καιρό να τους πάρει να καταλάβουν ότι κάνω live.
So my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are or were or will be at the time of having made said choice. That is to say, if by articulating a well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power.
Εγώ πρέπει να φεύγω αν τα λέμε σε stream ή όποτε είναι το Κέβα Θεσσαλονίκη. Sorry, αλλά εδώ είμαστε Αθήνα μπρος. Δεν έχει giveaway για μας. Ένα σάκο αρχίδια θα πάρουμε εμείς. Anyways, καλή ξεκούραση.
Perhaps that would have been the smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming...
Στην τρύπα του την Αθηναϊκή.
That last one was, well,
Έτσι.
I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate,
Αφραγιά προσωμείωση.
not press button. I think the skip button has been aptly
Καλά στο εσύ.
goodbye to it and just
Κόμι είσαι στο...
out of here.
Γενικώς είσαι στο Αφραγοσάρκ.
Wasn't there a door that led into this room? I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one would enter a room without a door of some sort or a window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole? A sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button, to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before, wasn't there? I swear there was. Where did it go? Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall?
Πήγε
Possibility that you could...
σε ένα κόσμο μαγικό.
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there.
I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer. And my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times. And there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button. And if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here. And more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it. And I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking and thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh my God. And it's all because of those...
Λοιπόν, narrator. Έπαιξες ή έχασες?
Reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. What, 2 weeks? I've been sitting here all that time.
Εδώ πάμε! Skip Bros. Πάμε σπίτι. Να ρε, το ρίχαμε. Τώρα.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed it.
Στον κόλλο έγινε ρε. Άλλη παράνοια. Alright, για να ειδώ. Oh my god. Σωτηρία. Σωτηρία δεν έχει. Μαλάκα, θα περιμένουμε δεκάδες, εκατοντάδες χρόνια, δεν ξέρω κι εγώ πόσο, να καταρρεύσει όλο το κτίριο. Και τώρα πέθανε. Narrator fucking dies. Οχ. Στον κόλλο συμβαίνει. Τι ακούστηκε? Άλλο. Δεν ξέρω πως παίζουμε horror. Oh my god. Nice. Εντάξει, αυτό θα μετρώμαστε πιο πολύ από ένα game. Κάποιο game, όνομα δεν λέμε. Ξεκινάει από mad και τελειώνει σε son. Και έχει ένα στη μέση. Σωτηρία. Πω ρε τα μάτια μου. Ω να σε γαμίσω. Άλλη τρόπη έχει πάρει μαλάκα, δεν πρέπει να πάρει τέτοια τροπή. Το μεταξύ, γιατί έχω ένα προαίσθημα ότι κάποιος θα έχει κάτσει και να υπολογίσει πόσος καιρός πέρασε από τα skips. Προς τη Δύση. Τώρα. Προς το restart πήγαμε.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright.
Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Και πάμε και... Nice. Και άλλο elevator. Εδώ. Το Patrician.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley parable and about how roundly disappointing his ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the
Κάτσε, είναι σημαντικό.
first time ever
Είναι reveal moment.
Stanley Parable 2.
Άλλο name drop.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think?
Nice.
Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Stanley Parable 2 και μετά είναι τέτοιο. Όπως το Overwatch 2.
But let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts,
Who took the red marker?
surely the game
Εγώ.
will naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy
Sequels are good.
anything scientific or logical.
Portal 2, Half-Life 2, Arkham Asylum 2, Divinity 2, Doom 2, Aladdin 2, Dark Souls 2, Νάτος ο DS2 Enjoyer. Νάτος. Respect narrator.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
The button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. Alright.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, The first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final
Nice.
case, this button will say your name.
Τώρα είμαστε στο gym.
Here, let's have you role play
Το είπε το κουμπί.
to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you
να
to
ορίστε.
imagine yourself. Jim. Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand
Τώρα είναι το G-Mark.
this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name.
Άλλο character development.
We're doing it again, and this time let me finish first. Now, allow yourself to become Jim. Imagine yourself driving to work as Jim, playing frisbee on the weekends as Jim, staying up all night for a popcorn and horror movie sleepover as Jim, developing a crippling substance addiction as Jim. All right, fine, whatever. It's just a meaningless button that says Jim. Are you happy now? Get out of here. I'm done with this button. Why don't you go humiliate me in front of a different feature that I worked very hard on?
Εντάξει. Αυτό είναι το G-Mark. Εδώ.
I'll only let people named Jim play the Stanley Parable too. They would appreciate what I've created here.
Settings World Champion. Say fucking what? Τι εννοεί? Τώρα. Infinite Hole. Αμέ.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Sunday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with? You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday.
Say fucking what?
Yes, it is.
Τώρα.
Actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on.
Merch. Εντάξει. Πού αγοράζω? Κάτσε, αυτό είναι actual. Περίμενε. Δώσω μισό λεπτό. Εδώ. Άνοιξε ρε μπουρδέλο. Για να δούμε. Το κάνει recognize. StanleyParable2.com. Nice, έχουν και τέτοιο βίντεο. Το δώσε λίγο. Ωραία, για να δούμε. Τι άλλο. Κάτσα, βλέπω το chat πάλι. Ορίστε. Είδαμε και το QR code. Πού ήταν αυτό το Infinite Hole που έλεγε? Ναι, υποθέσω από εδώ.
Stanley,
Έτσι φαίνεται.
that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is in fact.
Δεν έκανα και τίποτα μόνος μου είμαι. Ισχύει, δεν ξέρω γιατί αγχώνομαι.
That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium. You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then,
Nice.
since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
Τι και αν όχι. Τι και αν θέλω να πέφτω για πάντα.
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go
Εν τέλει, άμα δεν είναι infinity τρύπα,
sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
μπορώ απλά να σπάσω ό,τι κόκαλο υπάρχει στο σώμα μου, τόσο πολύ που πέφτουμε,
Okay, Stanley. I don't know quite
και να
how
βρούμε άλλο ένα αυτοχειρία ending.
I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a...
Nice.
Good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat and you're so clever.
Μάλιστα, από τσίγαρα έχουν πέταξει εδώ πέρα.
The issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to
Every
fall?
pause button is a Roman numeral 2.
The hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you
Σοφό.
put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
Τι και αν όχι. Να δούμε τι dialogue έχεις. Μάλλον δεν. Έτσι φαίνεται. Τώρα.
I'm very excited to show you even more of my
Okay.
Oh, for heaven. See, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite
Oops.
hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh.
Οχ, κιόλας.
Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole. I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm
Alright.
thrilled. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something.
Ας δοκιμάσουμε κάτι.
Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Oh, there it is. Shame it
Α, γράψε λάθος.
has come to haunt me. How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this
Αυτή ήταν η τρούπα.
just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
Alright. Άλλος DJ. Μάλλον δεν. Α, δεν δουλεύει το G τόση ώρα.
Hold button not working? You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Try it again. Still nothing.
Όχι. Δεν πειράζει. Μια χαρά είμαστε εδώ.
I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone.
Nice.
I get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
Πάμε hole, bros. Κάτσε. Άλλο. Άλλη τρούπα. Η τρούπα στη Μαντζούλα, το origin story. F. Ο Χριστός. Εδώ. Say fucking what? Εδώ. Τι άλλο έχουμε? Change your reality. Χριστέ μου. Change yourself. Ο Χριστός. Εδώ είναι το content. Fever Dream έξω από αυτόν τον κόσμο.
Stanley? 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 Oh good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodle-pip.
Alright. Έτσι στον κόλο. Οκ. Είπε να κάνει restart.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Αν πάω πάλι στη τρύπα, τι θα γίνει? Σκατά.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the
Nice, πολλά promises βλέπω.
gloriously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear
Κάτι μου θυμίζει αυτό.
I promise it will happen.
Achievement δεν έχει.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Ω,
Collectibles. Now
Collectibles.
it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Εγώ.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic. Oh goodness, Stanley, this is fairly awkward. I hate to do this, but before you leave, you really should go to the bucket exhibit. You see,
Το
there's a
ποιο?
surprise I was going to spring on you later, and it involves the bucket. And I really do hate to break the illusion, but it's important that you go see the bucket, okay? All right, I'll get out of your hair now.
Κάτσε να δω μα το ξέχασα κάτι. Εικονίζεις στον ουσιαπήλο collectables, όχι, νομίζω τα είδα όλα. Πού είναι ο κουβάς? Εδώ.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game.
Ναι, και μετά.
Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Alrighty. Μαλάκα, τι ήταν αυτό?
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, Can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Nice. Τώρα. Α.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Αυτό εν τέλει με τα settings τι είναι? Δεν μάθαμε ποτέ. Τώρα. Εδώ. Is this a motherfucking κουβάζ reference? Τι στον κόλλο.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on, let me do a...
Άλλο demo. Άλλο tech demo.
Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go, version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few
Nice.
features into it.
Είσαι ωραίος ρε-narrator, είσαι φοβερός.
With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2." Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Stanley Parable 2. Let's fucking go. Είχε κι άλλα, τώρα τα είδα. Είναι 3 η ώρα. Και δυστυχώς, άμα συνεχίσω στριμάρω τώρα, είχαμε ύπνο. Οκ. Οπότε... Για να δούμε. Θα τι είναι. Είναι από το DS2. Ωραία, για να δω. Ας κάνουμε τουλάχιστον ένα σωστό outro. Ναι. Ναι. Για να δω. Οκ, παρό ξεχάσω πως έβαζα τέτοιο. Γκυφάκια στο OBS. Ωραία, εδώ. Εδώ. Ορίστε. Από εκείνο το βίντεο. Έλα γαμίσου. Ωραία. Λοιπόν, Stanley Parable Bros. Το sequel arc θα έρθει την επόμενη εβδομάδα. Α, εδώ γιατί όχι. Λοιπόν, καλή ξεκούραση. Nice, καθόλου ορθογραφικά. Άλλο πρόβλημα. Γιατί κάνεις πόσο ρε μπουρδέλο. Τα λέμε λοιπόν, έφυγα για διακοπές. Πάω στα βουνά και στις δροσιές.